And welcome into Cubfidential. Usually, we're talking about the Cubs. Unfortunately, or fortunately, we're going to talk about all, the big transactions that have happened during free agency. So let's get our guests on that who are going to help talk with me about that. And that's Jacob Christner, the pundit's pundit, as well as Jennifer Matthews-Lewis.
What up, gentlemen?
What's going on, Jen? Yeah, or keep pounding or something. I don't know.
Yeah, keep pounding, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I have bags under my eyes today, y'all. Sorry about that.
Looks like you got it from Publix.
Huh?
Looks like you got it from Publix.
Right. Nothing good comes from Publix, so we'll go with that.
So let's go ahead and start the show off with Aaron Judge. There was a lot of talk about him coming to the Cubs. Of course, we all knew that wasn't going to happen. Then there was a report that he was going to go to the Giants, which, for those of you that don't know, I am a Cubs and a Rockies fan. I want everyone to stay away from the National League West so the Rockies have a chance. But he ultimately stayed with the New York Yankees.
This is a Cubs show, not a Rockies show.
I'm aware.
Rockies don't have shows.
That's true. They don't. I would agree with that. But he goes to the New York Yankees, stays with them 9 years, $360 million. Hey, it's the Yankees. They can pay who they want.
Well, here's the thing about this. That's almost as much money as Jen has.
Yeah. I wish. That's why I have bags under my eyes.
He's dealing with New York, so he's going to have bags under his eyes too before long. But no, one of the biggest things I say with something like this is, in one case, he's in the middle of New York City. You're near Manhattan. You're near all that stuff. He can get all the ads. He can probably do the cameos. On all the like HBO Max shows. He can probably do all that stuff now. I mean, this isn't exactly NBC, CBS years, but you can still do a lot more in New York. So that's the thing. And plus the fact that this is the truth. That new Yankee Stadium's that much easier to hit home runs in.
That's true.
Well, here's the thing. The Yankees are going to make more money off of him than they're paying him at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a smart business decision. He's the face of the franchise. He's going to be making money. They're going to be making money off of his face for this past season alone for easily decades.
Yeah.
So, and it's a solid chance he's going to even do it again this coming year. Because the coaching's good, how the stars fall into alignment, and if all the stars continue to fall into alignment for him, they will. I mean, did anybody really think he was going to leave?
No, not at all.
And I think all it took was, I was doing another show on Saturday, and this topic came up, and we were, and somebody on that show was saying that the Yankees just called Judge and said, "What'll it take?" He said, "1 more year." So they said, "Done," and tapped on another $10 million.
The thing I look at it though is, we know you make your money in the regular season, but you make your legacy in the playoffs. What did he do in the playoffs? He didn't do anything. Averaged .139 with 2 home runs. Is that still worth $40 million a year?
Yeah. Because how much are the Yankees going to make off of him next year?
That's true.
Well, budget. The thing is, as much as I'm the guy who, and Jen and you both know this, I absolutely want winning with my teams. Just have to have a realism of the fact that a lot of it's business.
That's true.
I mean, he's 6'7", 300 pounds. Looks like that. That is absolute marketing to the get-go. And there's a thing. The biggest thing that I'm shocked with, it's like the biggest things that I'm shocked with is he stayed in an area. It's like, because he did not go to San Francisco, but he went into an area. Either way, you're dealing with, and we're going to be talking about this with Jacob deGrom eventually too, mandates. There's mandates, and it's both in San Francisco and it is in New York. So it's like, it's completely obvious that part of it didn't care, but there's going to be some things with free agency that's going to matter. Where you're going to live, the taxes and all that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, because to live in New York City, you also have to pay. It's like, to live in the city proper, you still have to pay an extra income tax on top of everything else. So, I mean, but rich people problems. Not Jordan and I are not where you are, Jacob. We don't have to worry about that. So
Well, right. But the thing about it, that's the thing though, is Atlanta by itself, I'm happy with the governor we have here right now. I'd been gone with the other one. Just being honest. Just being honest by itself. And then I've talked to people that have been gone with the other one. If there would have been Stacey Abrams, I'm sorry, it's true. So
where's
it's like
Jake off the topic counter?
5
We
right
need
now.
that.
But that's the thing. You kind of brought that up with Atlanta, but it's like that's the thing. It's like I'm kind of shocked that some people didn't go to Atlanta or areas in Florida, stuff like that, considering that idea.
Well, yeah, but you're also going to go where you're going to make money, where you're going to have the crowds, and the Yankees have that long-lasting fan base. Like it goes back; their fan bases go back centuries, just like the Mets do. So, I mean, that's where it is, and to be a part of that tradition, that speaks something as well. And Judge wanted to, probably wants to end his career there.
Probably. Well, I'm going to say a comment. Jay should go ahead and highlight this. Frankie James, who's a huge Philadelphia Phillies guy, Trey Turner goes to the Philadelphia Phillies, so he's really happy about that. So, I mean, good for Frankie James. I'm happy for your team, and that actually obviously makes you guys the World Series favorites. So we're going to move on to another guy the Cubs targeted. It seemed like they targeted everybody. Carlos Correa. 13 years, $350 million deal with the Giants. Again, a team like the Giants who are trying to rebuild. They're trying to get up to the speed, or I should say, build a team to beat the San Diego Padres as well as the LA Dodgers. But you look at it, Correa, $350 million. I am so glad the Cubs passed, because here's the reason why. Right now, he's 28 years old. Once this deal is over, he's going to be 41.
And on 2 new teams and on 2 other teams. There's no way he stays 13 years in one city. No way. Not in this era. No way in hell.
Right. And the Cubs only offered $210 million for 7 years. And honestly, that's, an average of $31 million a year, right?
Well,
that's, more reasonable. I'm not ever going to say an athlete can't play into his 40s. I'm not going to be that girl. We've seen it. Some athletes can, and they
Tom Brady is one.
Brett Favre,
Well, I'm not going to say that at all. I think he can play into his 40s. I think he's going to be on. I think he's going to change teams twice by that time. It's like there isn't. No one sticks in one spot. It's like there's 150 million ways now, especially with free agency. That came in. I'm just going to say on the average 1993, 94 on those areas. NFL, NBA, all those. There's those types now. There's those type of things now to think about. In the middle of it, will the city change? Will the team change? Will there be ownership changes? Front offices? That's all that stuff. These whole big monster contracts, with the big years, that's all agents and lawyers.
True. But the thing, look at Correa, though, don't get me wrong. He has the numbers in terms of fielding. But what I don't like, though, with this deal is you're asking a lot of a guy who, he has 20-plus home runs in 6 of 8 years. Are those numbers really going to keep going up for him? Of course, the Giants, the goal there is to win the World Series. We've seen them do it before. But then again, you still have the Padres, huge spenders, the Dodgers. I don't know how much this really increases their odds of going ahead and saying they're better than the Padres. I don't think it does. So then who are they better than in the division? They're not better. They're probably better than the Rockies and the Diamondbacks. They're going to fall short against the Padres and the Dodgers, even though the Dodgers have lost a lot of talent.
Well, let me ask you this, Jordan. What would it take for this is another off-topic deal for 1 second, sort of.
We're going to need the off-topic counter, Jacob.
Yeah.
But by the way, what would it take for the Rockies to spend like this?
Well, they need let's see. What would they need? Well, they've done it with Chris Bryant. The problem is they're scared because of the I want to say it was 2001 with Denny Nagel and Mike Hampton, who didn't pan out. So the Monforts, who do own the team, I know they're not the general managers. They're scared to actually go spend the money. So the only way they're going to have to spend that money is if a guy, I'm going to use the Cubs example, Theo Epstein comes in there and says, we got to spend this money. That's the only way that's going to happen.
Right. And that's understood. My big thing is that's the big thing. It's like, what would there be somebody willing to? What keeps them from going to Colorado? What keeps these names coming that come? I mean, because you got to remember, Cleveland has been in the name list before. You know what I'm saying? Names like that. Just it feels like when I've heard Theo Epstein's name with Cleveland in the past, stuff like that. The biggest thing I look at with names like that is who is farthest from the World Series. He keeps wanting to help them out. He helped Boston out Chicago. Now, is it that, or are they just not paying? Are they not willing?
I think it's partially both, because if you look, and I know this for a fact, that the Montforts unfortunately are too loyal to like their employees. They will not fire somebody. For instance, the general manager, I can't remember who it is right now on the top of my head, but the last general manager basically resigned because he couldn't really handle what the Montforts are doing. And the biggest problem is the Montforts love to spend money on the beautiful ballpark. Don't get me wrong, Coors Field is beautiful, but I look at, they have a party deck. I want to right field. They spent $20 million. I look at that, $20 million could have paid for 2, big time players, but they didn't want to do that.
Well, look at this though. You talked about they love spending it on.
That's interesting, Denzel Snipes.
Yeah.
So
okay. Go ahead, Jen.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I was about to go to another topic.
Well, you brought that up. You brought that up with the ballpark. Here's the thing, though. How many times do I go on Twitter and copy a lot of stuff from Front Office Sports, Sportico, Sports Business Journal about what's going on with the parks now and building brand new stuff? It's not just the ball game anymore. It's all the entertainment on the outside of it. They keep building on that because that's where they have to make the money, the real estate around it, along with.
True. And I think they've actually built they're going to build something around it where they're going to have, there's not a whole lot of restaurants around Coors Field. They are going to start to build that like they did in Chicago, where they have where they can watch games and apartments and all that. So I'm fine with that. I just think, honestly, for the Rockies, and I want them to sell the team if I'm for the Montforts, just because we want a competitive baseball team, and you're not going to get that with trying to compete with the Dodgers and the Padres. They tried to do it in, I want to say 2018, but they fell short. And of course, we know Nolan Arenado wanted to go to a winning team, and that's where they're at.
No, he's on the.
So let me ask a question: do we think that the 2023 team is starting to shape up to be a little worse than the 2022 team?
Which team? The Cubs or the Rockies? Honestly,
well, we're a Cubs show, so I'm getting us back on Cubs.
Well, that's true. I'm sorry. Honestly, I'm going to say what they've done in free agency. If you guys want to know what they've done in free agency, they got Cody Bellinger. Not a bad name. He's a guy that's going to join the outfield with Sia Suzuki and Ian Happ. And then they got
Jordan Tyon. 14-5 last year with the Yankees.
There you go. So,
and it is sounding like Dansby wants to come to the Cubs.
I think they'll be improved. Will we be a playoff team? I don't think so. I think we'll still fall short. Will we have better conversations about maybe a better team on the show? Maybe.
Getting there.
Ask,
there's some good young names on it. Go ahead.
Is it just money, or do we also think it's coaching and management?
I think it comes down to Jed Hoyer. How much does he want to spend, and how much of the
Jed Hoyer was given permission to spend whatever it takes.
That's true, but how
on what, himself?
Yeah, exactly.
No, on players.
I heard that, but how much?
You heard that from me, I think. So on Reddit on December 5th, someone by according _ bull _ 2598 said that multiple MLB sources just told Tom Ricketts that Tom Ricketts and the Ricketts family told team president Jed Hoyer that he has green light to spend what he needs to spend to turn the team around. This lines up with what some Cubs reporting, and the Cubs. And yeah, and that's why they met with. That's the day they met offsite with Carlos Correa.
So if
Well,
that is
that day.
true, then why didn't we say, well, there's another guy we want to talk about. Why didn't they go ahead and sign Wilson Contreras then? He wanted to go. I get that. But if he actually
Well,
had
I mean, he
the
had been
money,
screwed around so much last year.
that's true. So,
Like, I
well,
mean, if you have job security issues, then don't you want to go where you're going to have a job security?
that's certainly true.
And the
So,
Cards definitely needed some spots filled with a couple of their players retiring. I mean, I hate to lose Wilson, but we didn't do anything to make his life easier last year
no,
on
we
or
didn't.
off the field.
So, of course, he signed a 5-year, $87.5 million deal with the Cardinals.
He'll get an extension. He'll get an extension
Oh,
in 2
yeah,
years.
definitely.
I just think it's really hard to look at Wilson Contreras and what he did for a franchise and say, oh, I want to go to St. Louis. I have no problem with him going there because, like Jacob said, they want to build a winning ball club. It just hurts.
Year.
And it hurts.
Year. Every single year.
And then I look at it as, why didn't we trade this guy if he just wanted to leave? Or what were the conversations like for, a contract with him? I just go back to the trade deadline, and after the trade deadline, we saw Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ hugging each other because they were happy to stay. How happy was Wilson Contreras? Well, happy enough to leave for an $87.5 million deal with St. Louis. It hurts that he went to St. Louis just because, it's a big rival, but I'm happy for him because, like Jacob said, has a chance to win. Look at that team. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, just to name a few on that team. So he's definitely going to contribute to a winning team.
Don't forget it. And don't forget that pitching staff getting better and better and better and better. And then Wainwright's still there, and he's going to lead that staff. And it's over and over and over again. And it's like, and by the way, I can tell you a good reason why they were hugged when they did that. It wasn't the team. It's the fact that when you are traded in the mid-season, you got to bring your family with you, and you got to drag yourself out. And you've
got to be separated from your family.
Or you got to be separated if they don't go. And it's like,
and you have those friendships, and they have a strong friendship and a strong bond. They're like brothers. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to fault Wilson Contreras for leaving.
No, not at all.
I mean,
he got paid.
He has more than given every ounce of himself to the Chicago Cubs.
Oh, I completely agree.
100%. And I feel like it comes down to coaching and management not paying attention to not only the, physical needs of the team, but the emotional needs of the team. Sometimes it just ain't a fit.
I'm also wondering what the conversations were like with Wilson Contreras and his agent and Jed Hoyer, because what I read, granted, I don't know what the actual conversations were, but he stated as soon as Yadier Molina retired, he said, that's where I want to go. And that's where I wish the Cubs would be like, a destination.
Well, think of this for a second. People are mad that he went to the Cardinals. He's 295 miles from Chicago.
That's true.
All. That is all. And then it's a team that if you are on your off year, it's 86 wins. And
that's certainly true.
If it's a normal year, it's 93. If it's a super year, it's over 100. And that's every single season. Literally, the last time they lost 90 games was 1990. They have an absurd. They have one absurd, consistent team.
So this could also just be a really big stepping stone for Wilson. When you put the numbers out like that too, there could be an end game here for him to go to another team that maybe wasn't showing interest at that time. Because, let's look at even the Orioles. Sorry, John Shearer. But, I mean, the Orioles almost made it into the playoffs. Look at Frankie's team, the Phillies.
They'll be there next year. Orioles be there next year.
And Phillies will be obviously the favorites to probably get back to the World Series. Whether or not they'll win it, you still have Houston.
Mm-hmm.
That it's hard for me to say in that East because it is very hard. That is a very loaded. That is a very outside of Miami. That's a loaded shot.
It really
anybody
is.
Can get that.
So let's move on to Cub or Dub. I mean, we kind of touched on it a little bit. Would Dansby Swanson be a good fit for the Cubs? We'll start with Jennifer.
I think so. I mean, we love Braves players, so I mean, at least we love talking about getting Braves players because that rumor is always out there about one rumor or another. Last year we were talking about getting William Contreras. So, I don't know. I think he might be a good fit. I know, like I mentioned earlier, it's looking more and more like we're his top pick. So I feel like it'd be a good pickup because I think he could add something to at least the locker room. I mean, obviously, to the field and go from there. Sorry, can't really speak right now. Apparently, cat got my tongue.
You're good.
But he won't make the paydays that everybody else is making, but I don't think that's what he's in the game for.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what he signs for because contracts right now are incredibly expensive. I mean, would you rather be a football player or a baseball player? More money's in baseball. I'm just saying, although you have to work your way up, just talking about these contracts. But what do you think, Jacob?
Oh, I'll tell you this. If there's one part that I like, there's one part I like and there's one part I don't. And Jen didn't like me talking. I don't know.
I was just like, she just left. All right.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It was all Senya's fault. No kidding.
She also has another show to produce here in about 8 minutes.
Yep. But no, the biggest thing about there's one thing I like. His worst year is always about 250. His best year is about 277, 275, 280. Oh, there you are.
Jen is back.
I thought Senya tripped over a cord.
Oh,
I thought you were getting ready to produce the pundit's pundit. Although I think,
but
no, thanks. That reminds me, I need to do one thing on there. Appreciate you for that.
Yeah,
but no, the thing is, like I said, he's about if his worst year will be a 250, his best will be about 275, 280. That's nice and consistent. I think he strikes out too much without power. It's like he has probably 15 homer average. That kind of deal, but. I think strikes out too much for that, but at the same time, just consistent all over the place. He's consistent on fielding. He's consistent on hitting. And it's a nice little thing for shortstop. And if he's going to get on base like the way he does, just get him at the top of the order.
I can't disagree with that. I definitely say it would be a good fit. The question is, though, if we sign him, where does Nico Hoerner go? I look at Hoerner. He is, he can play any position in the infield, but Swanson, he's not as good of a hitter as Nico Hoerner at .255, while Hoerner is at .277. The thing is, though, he hits the long ball. Of course, he has more Major League Baseball experience, but Swanson has smacked 101 compared to Hoerner's 13.
Well, yeah, Hoerner, that's even more. But see, he's going to look better than Hoerner on the thing but his average is still about 17 homers, on his career average, which that's still better than Hoerner's like 6. But that's
no Swanson's last year.
25 homers.
27 last year. The year before 25.
Oh, okay.
That's still not too bad. You want a guy that can hit.
Yeah, you want a guy who will be able to do that.
Plus,
but that is true. But it's like those have been the last couple of years. Other than those, I'm just saying I would like him to stop. If he's going to hit if he's going to hit more long balls, that's one thing. But if he would not, I would like him to stop striking out so much.
Mm-hmm.
I would agree with that.
Last year.
So here's another question: who else would you like to see the Cubs sign?
I would have rather not had Bellinger. I do not like. I don't like 166 averages showing up, and I don't like 200 the year before that. I like Dansby. I'm just gonna say I like Dansby. Let me see, and I'll tell you this: people are going to try to say Shohei Ohtani as the big monster deal. No, because like I said, I don't like 2 DLs in one because he will get hurt a little bit. So not DLs, ILs. I don't like 2 ILs because you have to put him on 2. You have to put the player on 2 injured lists the minute he gets hurt.
Brandon Nimmo.
Okay.
I look at this. Our starting pitching is okay. I mean, that all depends on the health of Hendricks and can Stroman improve from last year, a terrible year. I'd like to see us go out and get somebody in the bullpen. I don't know who that is. I don't know who's out there, but that's the one area that we definitely traded a bunch of people away just to get prospects. I would like to see the bullpen get improved because we all know pitching is what's going to really determine where we're going to end at the end of the year.
And here's the thing. Question, though, is did Hendricks have surgery?
I am not sure.
Oh, thank you, Jen.
I'm looking.
Yeah. No,
What'd you think me?
But it said Jen farted.
Oh, you know what? Denzel, stop.
But but no. Yeah, he took me off that. Yeah, he took me off my. Then again, I took myself off my own.
Yeah.
I
You know what? You're such a goober. Go watch AEW or something.
But no, really, the reason I asked that about Hendricks is if he did not have surgery, it makes me wonder how much was he really hurt, or did he just want to get out of a really bad situation for the year and try to heal up?
True.
And try to heal up, because truthfully, 2-4, and he was looking still 2-4. But here's the thing: out of his 11 starts, he still had like about 5 or 6 really good ones, and then the bullpen blew it. And
That's
those
true.
Those are the things. What do you do? It's like, did he just want to get? Did he have maybe that partial tear, and he just wanted to get out and heal? I mean, because really, he didn't have surgery. He could have gone, but you never know.
How about this name? Carlos Rodon, because he and the Yankees deal just fell apart. That was just
I mean, he would definitely help the rotation. Question is, though, what was the price tag for the Yankees and why did it fall apart? Because he's one of those guys that is going to be he's probably one of the biggest pitchers that I have seen in free agency in terms of everybody's list. That's very interesting. I wouldn't mind him in Chicago. It's just a matter of what does he have left.
No, and to answer your question, Kyle did not have surgery.
Okay, fair enough.
Should we go get a closer?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would definitely say that.
I'd love to see that. I would love to see a closer. I mean, middle relief just got murdered last year.
It really did. So that ends this special of Cubfidential. Jennifer, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you and follow you?
Well, everybody can follow us straight over to the Pundit's Pundit. The 3 of us, plus that Denzel Snipes guy who keeps accusing me of passing gas, will be there.
So sexy.
It wasn't me, it was him. And you can also find me not during the holiday season, on Thursday nights on Inside the Pigskin with Scott Morganroth. You can find me also on Thursday nights on Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel. On Sunday nights, I help produce Basket Bros. On Monday nights, starting in January, we will have the NBA Carousel. Plus, I'll let Jacob make an announcement in a second. And then we also have Chicks and Salsa, also 3 Chicks in a Pod on Tuesday nights. And I'm not sure what night we're going to have Cubfidential again, but pretty much I'm all over Sideline Sports. Kind of like that fart master, Mr. Cubfidentiality over there.
All right, Jacob, tell everybody where they can find you and follow you, as well as your new project.
Monday nights starting this week, the guest. Trevor Eon, the wrestler Trevor Eon, one of my friends for the longest time, and it's going to be on a brand new show called Pundit Views, which Jen is producing.
Woohoo!
Going to be doing a lot of interviews. I'm going to be doing interviews with both personalities and sideline sports people. So, but once the thing, so that's what I'll be aiming for on that. So you'll be seen on Jordan. And I'll be Jen, I'll be interviewing you too someday. So you guys, I know you have a story.
Well, I have all my opinions, so and I'm not bashful.
Exactly. That's why we're friends.
Exactly.
As for me, you can find me Mondays on the NBA carousel. Hopefully, I'll just do the Denver Nuggets. I mean, I was doing the Suns and the Nuggets. On Tuesdays, I'm inside, or excuse me, I was on Inside the Pigskin last night, but it's 108 Stitches with Scott. Also on Thursdays, it's the NFL, Alex Fleming's NFL Carousel, hosted by Eric Wilson, as I'm the Denver Broncos representative, and we know how that season has gone. But anyway,
Keep pounding, baby.
Exactly. For all of us here on the Cubfidential, please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any of our shows. And we're all going to head off to the Pundits, so please sure to watch that.
See you later.